Dogs and cats have zero requirement for carbohydrates in their diet. When you look at the AFCO nutrient profiles requirements, when you look at the NRC requirements, when you look at FEDIAF requirements, none of them list a requirement for carbohydrates because dogs and cats do not have a need for carbohydrates in their diet. Excess carbohydrate consumption can lead to chronic inflammatory conditions such as diabetes, obesity, arthritis, and inflammatory bowel disease and leaky gut. They're back and forth to the food bowl because their pancreas and their gut is telling them, hey, we've got this up and down train that we're riding all the time. If we get our cats off of that roller coaster, then we don't end up with obese diabetic cats, and we don't end up with pancreatitis and portal triad disease and all the other problems that we see on our cats that are eating an species inappropriate diet. Digestion of carbohydrates requires enzymes produced by the pancreas, and if an animal has deficiency of the enzymes, the carbohydrates ferment in the bowel, leading to bacterial overgrowth and inflammatory bowel disease. We see a lot of cases of SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and we don't see that in our animals that are not fed these high carb diets with anywhere near the intensity that we see it with these high carb diets. Pets eating high meat diets tend to make urine with a slightly lower pH, so 6 to 6.5. That's where we want it to be because that inhibits bacterial colonization in the bladder, so it decreases the chances of getting a urinary tract infection. Versus grain-based diets are more likely to make a high urine pH around 7.5. That allows the bacteria to grow more readily. Some poor quality ingredients to avoid when you're reading the labels. I already talked about meat and bone meal because we don't know where that's coming from. Animal digest, animal fat, meat and bone meal, beef tallow, those are all things that we're getting out of this big vat. I need to know what fish it came from if I have a pet who has a sensitivity to a specific kind of fish. So byproducts get a bad name because byproducts are the things that aren't wanted in the human food industry, which is usually things like most people don't eat kidneys, and I mean some people do, but most don't eat kidneys, liver, heart, spleen, lungs. So those are considered byproducts. By incorporating 1 or 2 meals made with whole foods each week, or by making a healthy topper to mix with the processed food, pet health and longevity can be improved. So I implore you, do the best you can, become a label reader, understand what it is that you are putting in your shopping cart and putting in the bowl for your pet.